On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, it's Bowlmas Day 3. We recap all of the college football playoff games, have Colin on, our Alabama guy, for some Alabama and Oklahoma talk. NFL, Matt's Eagles won the NFC East again. First time since 2000, repeat champions in that division. Jaguars had a huge win, probably the biggest win they've had since we've started this podcast. Lots to talk about, lots of football, lots of fun. Bowlmas Day 3. See you guys soon.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Welcome into episode 232 of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Today, December 23rd, 2025. It's also Bowlmas Day 3. And unfortunately, the Alabama Crimson Tide erased a 17-0 deficit, which means our guy Colin gets to come on the show and tell us how much better Alabama is than our football teams.
It's just every time. Yearly, weekly process these days, but, you know.
It is really tough. You know, when you joined here, I was really hoping Auburn would at least get something. And, I mean, they did win a basketball game, but then, of course, Alabama beat them in Auburn, and it's been downhill ever since then. We've had the 4th and 39, however long it was. But most recently, 17-0 deficit erased by Ty Simpson, and maybe Brent Venables just not knowing how to coach football. But just take me through your mind when you're down 17-0, and then as you're coming back.
Down 17-0. I nearly smashed the TV at the bar that I was attending. It was basically like SEC championship all over again, pretty much. And my fraternity group chats were all like, "Yeah, season's over. Line up the shots. Let's go. Fire DeBoer. He's off to Michigan. Where's Lane Kiffin?" That's pretty much it. And then you got that 4th down touchdown, and you're like, okay, yeah, we might be a little bit back. And then after that block punt, or dropped punt. I don't even know if you can call it a block. But, and then obviously the pick six. I think after that pick six, the game was over. But
I hate to admit this, but I will. Look, they were down 17-0, and it was still early, and I was saying, this is not over. This is Alabama. They can come back from this. If there's one team that's, quote unquote, the underdog in this college football playoff first round, it's that can come back and win the game. It's Alabama. I hate that I was actually right about that thought, but that just seemed like an absolute collapse in the span of 6 to 10 minutes, 10 minutes of actual game time. And those 3 touchdowns were just completely erased.
Yeah, I mean, after the first touchdown, I believe the block punt or the drop, it was the drop where he could have ran it. I think that was the play. Mateer, instead of running it for 15 yards, he decided to throw it down the field 30 yards. Great throw, but the wide receiver just dropped it. And then after that, I think it was 17 points in 3.5 minutes game time-ish, something like that.
Insane.
A comedy of errors for Oklahoma. I mean, Tate Sundell, one of the best kickers ever in college football, ties the record for most 50-yard field goals in a season, 8 for 8, and then he misses 2 field goals. And one of them, maybe he didn't miss, maybe he did. Oklahoma fans will tell you he did not for the rest of time. But, when that guy – nothing was going right for that team.
Yeah, nothing at all. It was the one thing I would compare it to, it was actually very similar to this year's Auburn-Alabama game, but the team that choked just won. That's the only difference. So, I mean, that's pretty much how it went.
Has Kalen DeBoer extended his leash with the Alabama fan base?
I would say slightly. like
not
very
on the list.
marginally. It all depends, because if they play like against Indiana like they did in the SEC championship, I think it would just go right back to the way it was before.
Right back.
But then, I mean, even if it's close, just
They
depends
lose on
how
a
they
heartbreaker.
Yeah, I mean, people would probably be fine with that since Indiana's a really good football team.
Right.
But if he gets blown out by Indiana, I think it would go right back to how it was.
Well, I know some coaches have a long leash across college football, but some coaches, and I feel like Kalen DeBoer especially, I know the expectation at Alabama is high. What Nick Saban left is something that I don't see another coach anytime soon repeating. But why do coaches just not get time to settle in across the board, not just Alabama? I know it's a little bit off the track question, but I've noticed it again, like I said, across the board. Did we lose Jack?
I think we did.
What's going on there? It's always when I'm in the middle of speaking. Always.
There he is.
Always. It's literally always when I'm talking.
I don't know, Matt.
It just happened to the last show at Fest. I was mid talk and fucking Fest left. It doesn't matter who the guest is. Anyway, I want all you guys to weigh in on it because you guys are all SEC, but just curious why these coaches seem to not get a chance to settle in.
I mean, the easy answer is people want results now. Especially I could speak to you from Auburn.
Fire Kalen DeBoer after like week 2.
Look, Alabama fans, I feel like that's a whole nother story. They've had Nick Saban for the past 2 decades. Life's been good for them. Shit's been sweet, like they haven't had to worry about anything. It's different for these other teams in the trenches, like an Auburn Tiger fan base.
Is it though? They let Hugh Freeze coach there for 3 years.
No, it's different, Brian. We've been chasing success for 2 decades, not 2 decades, a decade, decade and a half since Gus Malzahn won us a natty. Yeah, it's definitely been over 10 years. Well, 2017 was the last time we made an SEC championship. But you got me off my track. Yeah, we've been chasing success since then. We give coaches 2 to 3 years. I don't think we've given a coach longer than that, but we've been cycling through 2, 3, maybe 4 years at the most, trying to find our guy. And I mean, you could call it a short leash, but at the same time, usually you can probably tell if your program is headed in the right direction after a year or 2. I mean, we see John Summerall and Golke and all these other guys who were what is his name? Golich? I don't know how to Golich. Whatever. You see all these other guys, they're able to turn around.
Golke was the Oakland 3-point shooter in March Madness.
Yeah. That I saw his image, his face in my head after I said that. I was like, wait, I think I messed that up. But anyway, Signetti, these guys are able to turn around programs within a year or 2, and that's the standard. Some guys are able to do it. If the coach you hire isn't able to do that in 2 to 3 years, I think it's right you move on. Well, but that's why I also say stop signing these guys to 6-year deals and then having to pay $100 million to buy them out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense, but interesting.
I mean, I think at Alabama, though, when you probably have better talent than 99% of the teams in college football, and like last year, you lose at Oklahoma by 19. And then Tennessee away, and then the Vanderbilt, that's not at all. And coming off a team that was in the college football playoff with Milroe, I mean, who's up and down, but after you beat Georgia and then you just lose to Vanderbilt, and then playoffs on the line, you lose to Oklahoma by 19. That's the one thing with DeBoer is that he has these great games where he's outcoached Kirby Smart twice. But then he will have these horrible games where everything collapses and you get what you did in the SEC championship and against Florida State. And I would think that's the main frustration.
So Kalen DeBoer is just Gus Malzahn for Alabama.
Probably.
What do you mean, inconsistent?
He outcoaches the best coach in the SEC, and then he loses games he shouldn't.
Yeah.
But then this year is a little bit different because, I mean, we have won some games that last year we probably would have lost. Like, I think last year we probably would have lost the Missouri game and probably the Auburn game too. But
Well, and I know we're talking about this year compared to last year, but then again, 2 years ago when you had Saban, really not that long ago, I mean, you expect to win every single one of these games. So that's why I just think that the image is a little skewed here. The expectation for Alabama fans, if DeBoer is not winning SEC championships, if they're not a top, 5-6 seed in the playoff, there's a problem. Because that's all they've known under Saban for years.
There's also, I'm interested to hear your take on this, Colin, if it's more DeBoer or the player. But he came in as this offensive mastermind from Washington, and he essentially turned Ryan Williams into Will Hastings. He's gone. He's not doing anything. So I don't know if you blame Ryan Williams for that or coaching.
Well, I think Ty Simpson doesn't trust him anymore. Because he has had horrible. I mean, he had another one in the Oklahoma game. He had one in the SEC championship game. I mean, this year, I don't know what happened to his hands, but they have formed into bricks, and he can't really catch anything. And it's I mean, especially when you have Isaiah Horton and Jerry Bernard and Cuevas, who are the three probably most reliable receivers, and now Latsier Brooks. It was probably playing him and Horton over the last 3 games are our best wide receivers. And I just think there's better options that Ty Simpson trusts more. And Milroe threw the best deep ball of all time. That's the only thing he could really throw, a deep ball. And that's how Ryan Williams is Ryan Williams. And I don't think Ty Simpson, he doesn't like to throw it, I don't think.
It makes sense. I hate how they have so many good players. I know it's a very blanket statement, but it's annoying. It's if Ryan Williams is on Auburn and he's not getting the ball, it's like that happened with Cam Coleman, and we were throwing riots. Get Cam Coleman the ball, but yeah, Ryan Williams is getting the ball. Let's throw to the 4 other guys that are 5 stars that make plays. Which I mean is another reason you think they can go and beat Indiana next week. And maybe you're not as bullish on them as maybe I am, or you'll hear Matt Fest on the show tomorrow about Alabama, but I think they can go in and beat an Indiana team that hasn't really proven anything.
I mean, hasn't really proven anything is kind of a slight. They did take down the defending champion, number 1 overall seed. Ohio
but
State
in today's
Buckeyes.
college football, nothing really matters unless you're winning the playoff. Everything else has been watered down. Conference championships don't matter anymore.
And granted, they'll get their first crack this year. Kurt was too busy turning around the program last year to actually make the playoff, even though, some of those Indiana fans out there thought that they really had a shot, take down Ohio State and make their case and all that. But here they are this year. They got the Heisman quarterback behind them. So I think they'll be able to.
They lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Indiana made the playoff.
Did they make the playoff?
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about them not making the playoff.
Yeah, for some reason I remember them being a brink team that didn't deserve to make it.
Well, you were the head of, at least on this podcast, you were the head of Indiana does not deserve to be in the college.
Yeah, okay. Well, I stand by that for last season. Maybe my my bias and my thoughts were enacted into actual reality in my head. But there you go. Look, they got a shot to do it this year, but this matchup to me, it screams Spurs Heat back in the day to me. You got, the all-world talented Alabama, Miami Heat with LeBron and Wade and all of them. And then you're going against the fundamentally sound, and not to say Manu and Tony and Tim Duncan were scrubs, but, you got the fundamental football team, well coached by Pop, by Signetti in Indiana. I think that they're going to come out on top just because they do it the right way, play flawless, and they'll get it done. They'll get the board rattled. They'll get the Crimson Tide rattled. I don't think that talent will show up.
How dare you leave out Boris Dio?
There were so many. Look, we just went big 3. Like, Borussia wouldn't even be 4, Brian. I'd probably put Danny Green in there.
Borussia was pretty electric.
He was really good.
Might even put Kawhi in there.
Yeah, I think you go Kawhi over Danny Green. I don't know. Boris Diaw was pretty good.
Yeah,
I
was
don't
definitely.
Look, he's not cracking top 5.
He was electric.
I'll put Jakob Pertl in there before I put it. No, I'm kidding. All right,
That's
let's move on.
wild.
All right. Colin, how do you feel about the matchup?
I would say the one thing I do feel good about is probably the defense has played very well. So I think it's going to be all about the offense showing up. I do see a lot of similarities, like just matchup wise, and also even though it's the Rose, but the Ohio State Oregon game last year in the playoffs, just because Oregon undefeated. Big Ten championship. And then it will be interesting to see how the break affects Ohio State because that's the Friday night game against Miami. And, like, if they come out slow against Miami or if that's, like, a close game, because that probably shouldn't be a close game because Carson Beck is not very good.
No.
But if it's
Horrible.
If Indiana comes out like they did in the Big Ten championship, I would probably pick Indiana. However, I'm just going to delusionally always pick Alabama to win. So whether they should win or shouldn't, they're probably winning in my mind.
I mean, that's as you should. You should always ride with your team.
It's what real fans do.
It's what people in the nosebleeds do. Up in section 400.
What, you're gonna try and include yourself in there? You Bengals, Giants, whatever you want this week, fan.
Commanders.
Add Illinois State to the list. Little preview for tomorrow's show.
The
Mets just traded Jeff McNeil, so they continue to be on my shit list. But yeah, that's Alabama and Oklahoma. And Alabama continues to find ways to win football games. We hate it, but Colin likes it. And we like having Colin on the team. So thank you for coming on, Colin. And let's go, Indiana.
By the way, I'm not looped into the we there. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Thank you, guys.
Gross.
You had to throw in the Roll Tide.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks again for Colin for coming on. Hopefully we won't see him again. But if Indiana loses, we might have to get him back on in a couple weeks here, or I guess next week. But he did mention that Miami game and Carson Beck being terrible. Miami A&M was the first game in the history of the college football playoff to be scoreless at halftime. The teams were combined 11 of 31 on third and fourth down, and to combine 2 of 6 on field goal attempts. On a windy day, it was a little windy, Miami's kicker Carter Davis was 1 of 4. Was this game a great defense?
No.
Or were these two teams just terrible offense?
Both teams suck. It was the worst football game I've ever watched in my life. Miami had no business, ACC school, going on the road. The 12th man, give me a break. There was no home field advantage. Miami had no business going on the road in the middle of December to an SEC school who was number 3 nationally ranked, had a national championship aspirations.
I was saying they should have been won.
A joke, an embarrassment, and somebody's got to be fired. I don't know who for putting that game there. For fire somebody on Texas A&M. There is no reason Miami should be justified for their position in the playoff, and now the committee can sit on their high horse and be like, "We made the right call by putting Miami in." It's a total joke, and it's an embarrassment, and it makes a mockery of what the college football playoff was and is. I'm done.
Wow. I love it. I'm going to throw my tinfoil hat on. Should have seen this one coming. We should have realized that Miami was going to win this game some way, somehow, given, the uproar from Notre Dame and the rest of the fans of the schools that didn't get in. Anytime that last team causes a little bit of an uproar, of course we should have realized that college football playoff was going to make sure they won this game. Now, I'll take the tinfoil hat off. This was A&M season in a nutshell. Just an awesome defensive team, like a lot of the teams in the SEC. Awesome defensive team that really just couldn't figure it out on offense really all year. I mean, they obviously scored some points against some teams that weren't top 12 teams like a Miami. But this is exactly what happened. I mean, they played great defense. You look at the game that they literally just played the week prior, and it was the same thing. They scored 3 points, great defense, just could not move the ball, could not score points. And, yeah, tough showing by an SEC team here. I was very disappointed in A&M.
Yeah, I think that was my takeaway too. I was more disappointed in A&M than – I mean, Miami played decent football. They would have put up a lot more points if the kicker would have made his field goals, and the wind did get a Carson Beck pass. It would have been like a 60-yard touchdown, and it got lost in the wind, went out of bounds. He also has a resting Eli Manning face problem. He just looks like he doesn't know what's going on half the time. But Miami, like Malachi Toney's a stud. That kid's going to be really good, at least for the rest of his college football career. I still have my tinfoil hat on about the Toney from a Florida college being successful in the NFL. Same kind of player, too. A little scary. But, I don't know, Mark Fletcher, mom is scared of flying. He was flying around the field. His mom was going nuts in the stands. Michael Irvin was, like, ready to tackle the whole sideline watching that kid run. They looked – it was fun. They had a fun performance that didn't show up on the scoreboard. Now, do I think they'll beat Ohio State? No. But I think they showed they deserve to be there.
I hope they get boat raced by Ohio State.
They probably will.
I think they
I
will.
hope it's 49-0.
Brian, to your point, this game showed me that neither of these teams should be there. That's what it showed me. Like, I'm more in Matt's camp where, whoever let this game go on, it's an embarrassment to college football playoff. It really was. I know we're going to talk about these group of 5 teams, some of those guys that got in and how that was a little embarrassing as well, but in a different sense. I mean, this is an ACC Miami team. This is an SEC A&M team, and this was a terrible product on the field. Now, there are low-scoring games that are phenomenal products. I think to the Packers and Bears game this past weekend, low-scoring game for most of the first half. I believe it was maybe 0-0 or 3-0 at the end of the first, and halftime was even close to that as well. That's a good football game because these guys are playing some stellar defense and not letting the offense execute, breaking up passes, this and that. That's not what this game was. This was garbage. An embarrassment, as Matt said.
Yeah. I don't need to waste my breath. I went on my rant.
That's
all I got.
I don't know. It's hard for me to defend it because the numbers are so bad. But A&M's defense played really well in the red zone. A&M's offense was atrocious. Miami's offense was good outside of the red zone, and their defense was good. So it was the perfect storm on a windy day. I agree, though. It could have been better. If Notre Dame's in that game, they probably – although we say that, but A&M beat Notre Dame. So I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, somehow, some way, A&M's offense got worse as the season went on.
A&M should never, ever host a college football playoff game ever again for the eternity. I'd rather see Auburn host a playoff game.
Well, me too.
Or Vanderbilt.
I hate to bring up Johnny Manziel again because we already talked about him on the last show, but I guess
he'll never be good ever again besides him.
He was supposed to be the guest picker on game day, and he had to cancel. Probably.
Cursed.
Can't imagine why.
So their date just got started off on the wrong foot.
Oh, he was probably getting blacked out in College Station the night before. That was an early kick, 12 noon. Yep. He ain't waking up for that.
Yeah, the way that A&M looked, he probably took some offensive players with him.
Honestly, he might have. Marcel Reed got the full Johnny Manziel experience.
That's a conspiracy theory I can get behind.
All right. Ole Miss Tulane. Tulane, they really gave the group of 5 haters a bunch of juice.
Yeah, I mean, I know we'll get into JMU, at least like you kind of have in the notes. They had fun. Tulane, that's just we have to use these examples that are given us, analyze them, understand them, and never be this stupid ever again. I'm talking to the committee.
Yeah.
I understand you want to put in they won a conference or they did this or they did that. If you want to have these teams in, expand the playoff to 24 teams like we talked about in the other show, Brian. But top 12 is still elite college football that you don't again, JMU, fun team. They covered the spread great. Tulane, no business being in this. No business. They lost the coach. That team was dead in the water. I understand Ole Miss did too. It's the American Conference versus the SEC. Come on. Come on. Really? Really? We have to debate this? We have to sit here and talk about this? It's a joke. It's a total joke. And you saw it on Saturday of how much of a joke it was.
See, yeah, the group of 5 haters had a field day watching these 2 games. And I agree. I mean, Matt made a really good point. This is top 12. Like, are we really thinking that JMU or Tulane is competing in a top 12 matchup in college football? Like, no. This isn't college basketball where you can get lucky on some, tournament upset. Some guy like Jack Golke gets hot and just rains threes on your head. That doesn't happen in college football. All this says to me is format changes are coming. We're going to have another poll.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll go back to this, and this is an argument I had when UNC got into March Madness two years ago or last year?
This past year.
There's a difference between a team deserving to be there and a team that you think has a chance to win it all. And I think if the committee, whoever is deciding these things, takes the approach of only putting in the teams they think can win it all, it's a really bad precedent for college sports, which are already kind of becoming this ambiguous ground of NIL and who's winning championships and everything. You need to keep some kind of fair playing field. They're playing the same sport. The group of 5 and the power 4 are playing the same sport. And if you continue to say that the group of 5 is in this different realm, you're going to negate it and put them basically to D1 AAA, or they're going to be what the FCS is now, where it's still a good product. But if they're in the same Division I FBS, they deserve to compete to win that championship. And the way they do that is you win a conference championship and you represent your conference to go try to win a national championship. Now, if you think they can win, which they're probably never going to, but they might one year, you never know. That's a different story. But you need to put teams there that deserve to be there. And that's why, and you don't have to agree with that. A lot of people probably don't. But that's the one argument I'll keep going back to as to why I think they should be there.
I can get behind that, but they have to prove to me that they deserve to be there. Beating up on a whole bunch of other Power 5 teams, that doesn't prove to me that you can hang with an SEC team. If you want to go out of your way and schedule a big-time SEC game, or, it doesn't have to be SEC. I know I'm, cream of the crop, but
yeah, the ACC just knocked off the SEC this weekend.
Like a good ACC school, meaning from this year, like a Miami, or I struggle to even put Duke or Virginia in that conversation. Like, honestly, a Miami, you want to throw an SEC team or two in there, a good Big Ten team. Like, you go and beat them, and then win your championship. Yeah, okay, by all means, you deserve to be in the college football playoff. I know you can't play, the same schedule that
an SEC. Up to them, though. Like, JMU tries to schedule Virginia, and they try to schedule these good schools, and the schools don't want to play them because they know if they lose, they're not going to be considered.
You're telling me that they can't find a way to play a better schedule? I find that hard to believe.
They can't, because the other schools are scared of losing to that group of 5 and then having a worse chance to get in. Which it's this whole realm, which is why college football is in such a weird spot.
That's an impossible realm to break out of. I mean, if you're you can't force schedule, but
and that's always going to be the issue of if you get rid of the opportunity for these group of 5s to play in the playoff, then they're just they're going to feel even more slighted. And it's one of those things. They're playing the same sport, and they deserve to have an opportunity to win the championship for the sport they're playing. And that's my whole reasoning of them continuing to be here. And like you said, prove it. The way we're going, they've had 2 years to prove it. You need at least like a 5-10 year sample. And the way we're going, they're not going to have a chance after maybe this year.
I always go back to scheduling. You know, like how we look at March Madness, how that bracket gets made out. You look at the big wins that you had throughout the season, and I mean, a perfect example of what we're seeing right now, an A&M team who really didn't have that many impressive wins over the season. I know they had a couple big wins early on, but then they start to struggle late in the season. You don't get to see them play like good teams late in the season as they're sort of struggling. And then they show up in this game and they look terrible.
I think there's a difference between having that opportunity in the SEC and the group of five. It's this whole thing. In basketball, you have more chances because you can lose a game and it doesn't affect you as much as in football where it's the end of the world. I don't like the notion that, and if you want to expand it but keep the group of fives, that's fine. But I don't like the notion of completely getting rid of them.
Okay, I agree with that. I'm not saying get rid of them completely, but what I am saying is get rid of they have to be in it. If they deserve to be in it, sure. But can you look at this Tulane team, especially after losing Summerall, and being like, yep, top 12 team, you deserve to be in it? Can you really look at JMU after the season that they have and be like, yep, you deserve to be in it over a Notre Dame, over a Texas? Like, no, they didn't. They
won it, but there's this.
But
you go back to like 2018 UCF coming off a year where they beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl and claimed a national championship, went undefeated, and didn't get in the playoff over a one-loss Oklahoma, and Oklahoma got boat raced in the first round.
And
so what's the difference there?
I think that UCF team has a way better case than the two teams that we're talking about this year.
But you're never going to know that.
Well, no, because we didn't have that option back then. But now I'm saying you don't say Power 5 teams, sorry, but no matter what you do, you can't come in. You don't say that. That's how it was with UCF. You also don't say we have to have two Power 5 teams in like we did this year with JMU and Tulane, because then we have to put these two in when everybody knows two better teams, Notre Dame and Texas, just straight up. I don't think anybody in the country is going to argue that those two teams were better than JMU and Tulane and should have been in this playoff. You know, that alleviates all the other questions. I'm saying you give them the option. So if a team does put together a nice run like a UCF did that year where you do go undefeated and your resume sort of does stack up where you should be in this playoff, okay, you can make it like we'll give you that last spot. That's what I'm saying. You got to actually earn it.
But most years they do, and there's one spot reserved for a group of five. And it happened to be two this year because the ACC was terrible. And they don't know how to run their conference, and they didn't let Miami play in the championship game. And people are going to get overreact to this because there were two group of fives in, when every other year it's going to be one. We're never going to see the ACC suck like this again.
But my point is it should have been 0 this year.
But that's not fair.
Why not?
JMU went undefeated in their conference. They lost to Louisville. They had one loss.
But Brian, that was their shot. Like you need to beat Louisville to be in the college football playoff if you're JMU. Because and Louisville's not even a playoff team. They didn't even make their conference championship. Like Louisville's not even that good of a team. So yeah, you need to beat them in order to be in this playoff. I don't see how you make it without it. And they did.
As much as I love JMU, I think I side with Jack on that. Their shot, they had as big or small of a shot it was a shot, right? ACC, Louisville was nationally ranked. They were a decent enough team to where you got to win that game. And that loss right then and there probably should have. I agree with, expand it to 18 teams and add your baloney teams in at 17 and 18. Or whatever you got to do to where it's those teams who got snubbed right on the edge should have been in, and then add 2 more spots so that the people who want to see the Cinderella teams get in, and everybody goes home happy.
And we'll talk in circles on this forever, but That's why I still think my 18 playoff, even though it's never going to happen, is the best. Because even when we go to 18, we go to 24, we go to 36, however many teams. That
There's gonna be a
37th
team
team,
that
that
gets
25th
snubbed.
team, that 20th team is going to be the one that gets snubbed. It's always going to happen.
See, but can't you like? Isn't it a little less loud if you're at 24 instead of 12? Like 12, you're still like jipping teams that have 2 losses, no? Whereas like 24, it's like, all right, you're keeping those top in, or it's 18. And the teams that get gypped, it's like, oh, maybe you could pick him over him. But it's like, all right, they still had 4 losses. So you're not up in arms as much as you might have been about the team that had 2 losses.
Yeah, but then you're arguing about 3 versus 4 losses instead of 2 versus 3, and the same thing over and over.
I feel like
There's
it's
going to
easier
be
judge.
snubs till the end of time.
Yeah, the only counter to that I have is eventually when you push it out far enough, you start talking about teams that actually don't have a shot at winning it. Like I think this was just last year, maybe 2 years ago, where we were talking like there's really only 2 or 3 teams that can actually win this. So I don't care if they make it 6, 8, 12, 14, 25 team playoff. There's really only 3 teams this year that can actually win it. And one of those 3 teams did. And I feel like this year, it's a little different.
It's a lot more wide open.
I don't think so.
We just saw a number 12 Miami get a big upset. We just saw number 9 Alabama win over number 8 Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think it's a little more wide open.
But I do too. But my point is like, you know, any of these teams can go make like, you know, the next round and win a game in the playoff. We need to maybe expand it out to where, okay, like this team gets in, they can maybe win a playoff game, but there's no shot that they can go string together the whole thing. And I don't think that we have that in this playoff. I think any team that's in this playoff can string it all together and win the whole thing.
Yes and no. You can make cases against a lot of these teams.
Of course,
I don't think Oklahoma could have won it all. I don't think Miami can win it all. A&M maybe. I thought going in could have.
Clearly not.
Oregon, I don't know if they have enough, but they could. So yeah, I guess there's like 2 teams in this I don't think can. But I agree with you guys. I think you have to keep a group of 5. You have to let them get in. You can't completely
12 team and give it to the 13th team as the group of 5 and make them the wild card team and figure out a way how to make it all work. Give another team a bye.
All right. Well, yeah, we're clearly never going to agree on it. Comment below what you think.
I want to see the Cinderella, but there's got to be a better way also. But again, yeah, comment below what the hell you think you want to see.
All right. Before we talk about NFL, which team were you most impressed by this weekend?
In college? I mean, you got to shed light on Alabama. Would be my team, and not to really throw a wrench, but JMU for covering.
I was going to say JMU too.
But really, I mean, they did cover, so you know.
Yeah, but they got dominated. They got dominated, and then you hit a backdoor cover. I mean,
they were in it for like 7 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I don't know that they were really
6-3.
They covered. They got the job done. I think the only answer is Alabama for erasing a 17-point deficit on the road and pulling out a victory.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give it to Oregon just because I'm not going to give it to Bama. And I probably think that they have the best shot at winning their next round. So I'll give it to Oregon.
How dare you?
I know, Brian, but let's look at the other options.
Tech's been unreal, and they're going to roll.
I think so too.
Roll Tech.
Roll Tech.
Pew pew. All right, NFL. Matt, the Eagles, first time since 2000, back-to-back NFC East champions.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. Might as well be the Birds. Got it done back-to-back for the first time in 20 years. Was looking at the graphic. The Eagles have dominated it regardless of not winning back-to-back. I think they have 8 of the last 20, Cowboys have 7, Commanders have 3, and the Giants have 2. Is how the last 20 NFC East go. Yeah, the Giants haven't won a division title for a long time.
Let's do Super Bowls during that span.
Last 20 years.
2-2-0-0.
Yeah.
That adds up.
The Giants are getting more distant than distant as the years go on. I know you can't
Still
take
less
it away.
distant than the Cowboys and the Commanders.
I know you can't take it away, but whatever. Yeah, Eagles wrap it up onto the playoffs. Should be comfortably into the 3 seed. I don't know that I want to play the Niners in the first round. I don't know who I want to play in the first round, but it seems like seeding still has to work its way out. Saquon Barkley had the running game going. Hurts did what he had to do to manage the game and get the win. Brandon Graham, I think, has 3 or 4 sacks in his last 9 plays. I think it's 2 or 3 sacks his last 9 plays. I don't know. He's a veteran rotational guy. They called him up off the couch. He's coming and he's filling up the stat sheet. But yeah, look, we'll see what they look like in the playoffs, man. It's great they won the division, but you're coming off a Super Bowl. The expectation is to repeat, get back and repeat. I think there's probably better teams in the NFC right now, just in terms of the way they're playing. The Rams, Seahawks, you could argue the Niners. It's great. They did what they had to do. Two bad teams in the Raiders and the Commanders. We'll see what they look like up in Buffalo this weekend. And, it's going to come down to how do they look in the playoffs? Do they really pull and rally together and go on a run? And going to have to play some road games. It's a different year.
Thoughts on Nick Sirianni going for 2? Seemed to really piss off the entire District of Columbia.
Sirianni's the guy who's always been I don't even know the word for it, but always tries to be that kind of guy in terms of a coach, and always doing something a little bit extra, shaving his head, wearing different kinds of graphic T-shirts. So he's always been that coach. He's always been that coach to maybe try and poke the bear a little bit, so to speak. And Saquon said it best. We don't really like those guys, and he knows that they don't like him either. It's a divisional game, and I like it from the coach. Go ahead, poke the bear. When you're up, you're up.
Yeah, Matt, I got a question.
Sure.
NFC playoff picture. You guys are sitting in the 3 seed. Obviously, we've still got 2 games to go this week, or this season in the regular season. It currently stands that you guys would match up against the Niners. If you had your pick, Niners, Packers, Seahawks, Rams, because I don't know who's winning that division. Those are the 4 teams I'm really looking at for you guys to match up with. Who would you most want to see and least want to see?
Run it back. Give me the Packers at the Link. No Micah Parsons. They haven't looked spectacular on offense. They just scored 16 points against the Bears. I know the Bears have been good. I'd be okay playing the Packers. They did it last year, beat them at home. Let's run it back. Teams I don't want to play, I don't want to have to play the Rams in the first round. I wouldn't be as scared as I think people are of the Seahawks. I think I would welcome the Seahawks, which they do play well on the road, I know, but Sam Darnold in the playoffs in South Philly, that doesn't scare me, and maybe it should, but that doesn't. I'm not as worried as I wouldn't be that scared. I'd be more confident than it would say on paper. Don't really want to see the Bears and the momentum they have, and I don't want to see the Rams. And we'll see what the Niners look like on Monday Night Football. I don't know, how battle-tested have the Niners really been this year? I'm not particularly scared of Brock Purdy. and the Jags have been good, but they lost at home to the Jags. I don't know who their other, but like who have they beaten? That's been a spectacular team, and I don't know their schedule like that, but I know they've been winning games. But
The Niners
don't have Fred Warner.
The Niners opened week 1 up and beat the Seahawks. So, long time ago, but
Week 1.
They do have a win over the Seahawks. They have an overtime Thursday night win against the Rams when Mac Jones was the starting quarterback. But
Fred
that was
Warner was also
again
healthy.
week 5. Yeah, Fred Warner was healthy. Couple other notable wins. None really, unless you want to consider the Panthers one of them.
Which, I mean, it's an okay win. But I'm not, again, like I said, is beating a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers on the road tonight another huge big-time win for the Niners? It's a road win, I guess. But, again, I'm not overly, worried about them. To keep, again, your question short, I don't really want to see the Rams if I don't have to, and I'd prefer not to see the Seahawks. But if I had to welcome Sam Darnold into South Philly for an opening round game, the Eagles should win that game. I'm sorry, I know the Seahawks have been good on the road. I know they just beat the Rams in a crazy game. That defense should be able to step up against Sam Darnold.
All the PA guy has to do is play Dreams and Nightmares and lower the lights a little bit, and Sam Darnold will start seeing ghosts again.
Maybe he could. I mean, what do you guys think as outsiders? Sam Darnold coming into South Philly for a playoff game, like, is he gonna just absolutely ball out? He did it last year when he played the Rams on the road in a fake road game in Arizona because of the wildfires, but on the road nonetheless. The Vikings looked horrible in that wild card game.
I think you should be praying to see Sam Darnold and the Seahawks instead of the NFL MVP and the Rams, especially with the way your offense is looking. I don't know if you'll be able to keep up with that.
I don't want to see the Rams. I would be fine with the Packers, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. That's pretty obvious, Brian. No, I think if I saw Sam Darnold and this Seahawks team strolling into Philadelphia for a playoff game, as an Eagles fan, I'm definitely ready for a good, hard-fought, probably defense-driven game, I would think. At the same time, I'm taking the Eagles offense over the Seahawks offense. It's really going to come down to how much you guys require Sam Darnold to do, right? If you guys shut down the run game and Sam Darnold has to throw the ball 40 times, yeah, I'd feel pretty good about taking Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I just hate that we have to watch another playoffs with the Eagles in there.
Why do you hate that?
You'll get your turn eventually, Brian.
We have to talk about them for longer than I'd like to. Another team that we'll be seemingly talking about for a long time, Jack. Liam Cohen is thankful a small market team like theirs can come into a place like Mile High and get it done. Trevor Lawrence has thrown for 12 touchdowns and rushed for 2 with no interceptions in his last 4 games.
Look, man. Look.
You got us to think.
I was trying to tell you guys that he has not played his best ball yet. I was even thinking about going back to the archives and look at some past shows just to, feel good about myself and bring up some of those old clips. But I was trying to tell you the Jaguars were winning football games like that game against the Chiefs on Monday night. We won that game, and Trevor Lawrence wasn't at his best. Like, he's still very early in the Liam Cohen offense, new coaching regime, all that kind of stuff. So much room for improvement. And that's what we've been seeing these past few weeks. I mean, we have seen a Trevor Lawrence that I have not seen, period, in Jacksonville. Maybe he was like this in Clemson. Maybe he was like this in high school.
Said he wasn't.
ETN said he wasn't. But, I haven't seen this kind of dog out of Trevor ever. And it's so exciting. Not only is he playing really well and winning football games for us, but he actually looks like he's getting better as a quarterback, which is something that I didn't know I'd see as a Jaguars fan.
It's big thanks to Liam Cohen.
Huge.
Shout out Udinsky, 28-year-old offensive coordinator from Doylestown, went to CB West, by the way, is, I think Trevor Lawrence right now is a massive beneficiary of the coaching around him, which is not a bad thing.
No,
that is not a bad thing at all.
That's
you
their
want
job.
Coaches to play right. So but he is thriving because he has, this Udinsky guy as the offensive coordinator who has helped him, and Liam Cohen. You see why? Was it the Jags owner or whoever it was that said, no, I don't care what the guy wants. We're paying him. He's coming. Because I know there was some back and forth there. He was almost going to return to the Bucs. And they said, no, he's going to come coach for the Jags. We'll pay him. So that's the biggest, nut up or shut up moment for the Jags that I've seen in the last 5, 10, whatever years of saying, no, this is the head coach we want. We're going to go get him. We need our quarterback to play like the quarterback we're paying him to be. And that's why they went and made that move. That's a 11-12 win season move made back in May or March or April, whenever they signed Liam Cohen.
Yeah, we're finally seeing Trevor at his potential.
The fruits of the labor.
It's just freaking finally. I mean, this is you look at the guy, he's a freaking Greek god of a man, and you're like, why are you not the best quarterback in the NFL? You have all the talent in the world to do it, and it's finally coming together. And it's huge, to your point, huge thanks to Liam Cohen, to this offense, just simplifying things for him. Trevor, he gets out there. I mean, you just never saw this from him in the past 5 years. He gets out there, he gets to the line, diagnoses the protection, calls things out, cans it, audibles it, does what he needs to do, and then he calls hike and he executes plays. He executes plays the way they're supposed to be executed, with confidence, with timing and precision. And he's still human. Yes, Brian, he sometimes is inaccurate, and I know that you were going to try and figure that in somewhere, but he is playing the best ball of his career, and there's not too many quarterbacks I would take over Trevor Lawrence right now.
Believe it or not, I wasn't gonna bash on him. This is the best game I've seen him play and the best game I've ever seen the Jaguars play. Now, I haven't watched much of the Jaguars before we started this podcast, but in those 3 years, this has been the best I've seen the Jacksonville Jaguars play. Are we thinking bowl?
Look, I'm knocking on all the woods right now. There's no reason we don't win the AFC this year. There's no reason we don't win the AFC this year. Josh Allen, we've beaten him before. If Mahomes was in it, that'd scare me. If Lamar was in it, that'd scare me. Those two guys, I don't think they will be, but those two guys scare me. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, they don't scare me. We just beat the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix. The Patriots with Drake May, I mean, you got to say that that's the biggest competition at this point, just because we haven't played them. But we beat the Chargers. We beat the Texans in 7 out of 8 quarters this year. There's no doubt in my mind that we're the best team in the AFC, and we can do it.
2017 all over again. Patriots can steal your hopes and dreams of the AFC.
If it's Patriots, Jags, and we have another Miles Jack isn't down, but this time it's fucking Devin Lloyd wasn't down like I had to see in week 2, I will riot. But they got Drake May, not Tom Brady. It's different. It's different. I haven't been this excited for Jaguars football, honestly, since I became a fan.
As you should be. I don't really have any way to rip on you. There's always some kind of silver lining I can at least find. Like, Trevor Lawrence had a tough throw, or ETN looked kind of washed, or you're really relying on Parker Washington. But I can't. They all look great.
You talking about 150 yards, Parker Washington?
I am. He looks like an all-pro receiver.
Should have been
He has
more.
had a hell of a
Should have been
season.
more on that third and long. Had Parker wide open over the middle of the field. I don't know if it was a bad throw or just didn't link up to him. It was towards the end of the game. He was open over the middle of the field. I know because I had Lawrence in playoffs, and that would have been a nice reception. Would have added at least another 30 yards onto both of their totals. But
I don't know how that play is escaping me, but it is. I'm not exactly sure which one
Game
you're
was in
referencing. Yeah, I was probably celebrating already.
it was towards the end. You still would have been involved watching because they got the stop and then gave Broncos the ball back. So they needed to get another stop, but I don't know. He probably would have been tackled, but the way Parker was running after the catch, there could have been a shot at another long touchdown there, which is what I was rooting for.
Yeah, he had a heck of a day.
He did.
Heck of a day by him.
He did. But for me, if there's any type of, you would think teams will be able to figure out Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers. That would be my only thing on how they take the Jags down in the playoffs is they figure it out because Parker's only kind of come on as of late.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely been having a phenomenal season, pretty much all season. But more after Travis Hunter went down for the year, he needed to step up into a bigger role. Brian Thomas Jr. was out for a handful of games, so he had to step up into a bigger role. And Parker really has done just that. I mean, if you look at our team offensively, he is the MVP. Special teams, him, maybe the rookie Lane are the MVP. And then defensively, it's probably Devin Lloyd. But just in Parker Washington, I cannot explain how huge he's been for our team all season long. And, also shout out Jacoby Myers, that late season addition, huge MVP type move as well. But he's been great. And yeah, I'm at a loss for words. But Matt, to your point, if teams can figure out Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington, there's still Brian Thomas Jr. there.
Is he back?
Yeah, he's back. I mean,
wouldn't really know it, by the way.
You wouldn't really, but that's the thing.
No, I didn't. I thought he was still out injured.
You wouldn't really know it because Myers is the de facto number one receiver right now with the volume and the way that we're utilizing him. And then Parker Washington just had the huge 150-yard game. So I can understand why you think Brian Thomas is sort of an afterthought. He almost is, but at the same time, a lot of really important executed plays that we had to him. I think he may have only had like 2 or 3 catches, but they were important catches early in the game that we needed him to pick up.
Yeah,
Jaguars
are playing great. Yeah, great football. Happy for you, man. It's been a while, long time coming. A lot more turmoil than these types of celebrations. So I definitely, it feels good, but job's not finished. I mean, there's a long way to go. So it's nice to celebrate when you finally break through. But I mean, a at home first round playoff loss throws that all down the drain. So
throws it all down the drain.
So definitely keep the celebrations minimized, and they got to stay locked in.
No doubt. And I love how you said that too. The job's not even close to being done. And that's exactly what Liam Cohen said. Got the guys fired up in the locker room in Denver after the win. Got the guys fired up. How about that? All that good stuff. And then goes right into the job's not even close to being finished. And a lot of the guys, you could tell, they're doing the social media in the locker room video. Guys are like nodding their head. And you can see the guys are responding to that. Yeah, no, the job's not done yet. We still got a lot to do, a lot to accomplish. And yeah, Liam Cohen's got that locker room right. Not only are the boys playing well, but they got the right mindset. I'm really excited to see what they can do.
The Jaguars and the Eagles will both be in the playoffs. The Jaguars will host at least one game at Trevor Bank. 2 teams that don't want to get into the playoffs, it seems. The Packers and the Lions. Both lost this week. The Packers don't have a quarterback. Jordan Love's concussed. Malik Willis hurt his shoulder. Romeo Dobbs hurt himself on an onside kick. He couldn't recover. Christian Watson hurt again. And the Lions, I don't know what's happening to the Lions. They just lost to Aaron Rodgers. They let Kenny Gainwell have 100 receiving yards on them. They're probably not going to get in. They need the Packers to lose out. They need to win out. But the Packers don't look that good either. Just lost to the Bears for the first time since 2018 in Chicago. What is happening? Are either of these teams good?
Well,
No.
first of all, I don't know why you said Eagles and Jags will make the playoffs and the Jaguars will host a game. Like the Eagles won't be hosting a game either. So
Where
that's
you
number
pick that
one.
up?
That's
We're used
number
to them.
one. Not
I
sure
would
why.
say Trevor Banks.
Not sure why that went down. But what is going on? This is exactly why I said I would love to see the Eagles host the Green Bay Packers in round one, is because their football team is dying week after week, figuratively and literally. I mean, by injury, and how you watched that game end on Saturday. Like they literally just collapsed. So there, Matt LaFleur, that's another guy you would think maybe one foot out the door, and if they have an all-time collapse, how many more times can you run it back with him? And but yeah, I mean the Packers just seem to be all sorts of scrambled right now, and doesn't look like it's getting fixed.
Yeah, I didn't even mention Josh Jacobs, who basically has one working leg right now. They're all dying, but they got to play the Ravens next week, and the Ravens need to win. And then they get Minnesota to end the year at Minnesota, and it's a division opponent that's going to want to play spoiler. So it'll be interesting to see how they end the year.
9 has been grittying around the field like crazy. So
He
don't
is
let
hurt again,
9
though.
get hot.
Yeah,
Oh,
not an easy finish for the Packers. I mean,
just had to
it's-
give a shout out to 9 there.
yeah. Shout out 9. No, I've given the Packers a lot of credit this year, but I've said it. I've also said this so many times. It is really hard to win when you don't have your best players. Micah Parsons goes down for the rest of the year. They're on a 2-game losing streak now. Those things are, very finely correlated. Now you got Love hurt. Josh Jacobs has been hobbling for the past 3 or 4 weeks. It's tough. No, they're out. They're not. They need to be at full strength for me to believe in them, because I don't believe in Matt LaFleur. I really don't. It's not a Jordan Love thing. It's a Matt LaFleur thing. And I know he has great play calls here and there, but for him to put 4 games together and win a Super Bowl, I really don't think he can do it. He gets out coached. So
Yeah.
I don't have any faith in them. And then on the flip side, the Lions, man, just a really tough season. I feel like they've been playing a top 5 team in the league every single week, but it is what it is.
Even their magic is gone. Like they had that crazy Amon-Ra fumble. Jared Goff picks it up and does the most athletic thing I've ever seen Jared Goff do in his
That was
life.
wild.
And the game just ends because the game will end on an offensive penalty. And it was just
it shows. I think it's clear as day that Ben Johnson was their whole team last year in terms of the offensive creativity and play calling. I mean, the same team's back, right? Amon-Ra's there, Jameson Williams there, Gibbs, Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles that Brian loved to call him. Jared Goff's there. So the whole team's there. The team's there.
line's kind of dead.
No, it's not. Oh, stop it with these O-lines are dead, dude.
They tried to bring back Frank Ragnow because they needed help, and then he didn't even pass his physical, so he was back for all of a day.
What do you expect when you call up a guy who's eating cheeseburgers on the couch all year?
Worked for the Colts. Well, not really, but kind of.
Well, it didn't. They're 8-6 and have an 8% chance to make the playoffs. So
They just needed to get a stop and not let Jason Myers kill him.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help that they just let Sam Darnold dink and dunk out routes.
Yeah.
Into 58-yard field goal range. Like the bare frickin' minimum.
Yeah, I'll also say if you're in the market for a car, do not buy a Toyota. Can't be good. Jordan Love getting hurt during Toyotathon probably doesn't bode well.
When does Toyotathon run? October to December.
It's last week in November until mid-January.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like right before the NFL playoffs start is when it ends because he's not really good in the playoffs.
No.
Another team that might not make the playoffs, the Ravens. Every time they have a game that we think is a must-win, and Matt, I know this one hurt you a little extra.
Yeah, he's on my shit list, man. I mean, Harbaugh, why he pulls Henry out of the game and then just starts sending Lamar Jackson to run to his death, literally run to his death. And we didn't see the guy for the rest of the game. Tyler Huntley comes in, almost steals a game, but Patriots find a way. I mean, they have been the team of just kind of finding a way all year, and I know they've been great, but I mean, Ramondre Stevenson, nobody had that guy on their Big O card.
No, I can't wait for them to play some real competition come the playoffs. People wake up.
I beat the Bills.
They've beaten
Or
decent
they
teams.
lost to the Bills too, though, right?
Yeah.
The
Is that
Bills
one
have
of
been an interesting team this year. They have some interesting losses.
You play who you play.
That's life in the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah, you play who you play.
All
but-
NFL
but-
competition.
But you play who you play, but then you lose to the Falcons and the Dolphins, and then it's you play who you play.
Rams lost to the Panthers.
Panthers are a playoff team.
Damn right they
Not
are.
yet.
They're leading their division. If the
Well,
season
we can
ended-
talk about that. So the Bucks
Leading
still
their
do
division
have
with 2 to go.
the Bucks still do
Come
have the
on.
tiebreaker.
Take
It goes
us
down
home,
to 2
Bryce.
Games.
Take us home.
So here's our scenario with Bucks Panthers.
It's
The
right
Bucks-
there, Brian.
The Panthers' easiest path would be this week. They have to beat Seattle, and the Bucks would have to lose to Miami. If that happens, the Panthers are champions of the NFC South.
I can taste it, man. We're so close.
Any other result,
So
even if
close.
any other result besides that, Week 18, it's for all the marbles.
Brian, how massive was that victory on Sunday?
It was big.
To take down Baker Mayfield and the spiraling Buccaneers.
But like Liam Cohen said, job's not finished.
It's not.
You got to beat them again because I don't think they're going to beat Seattle next week. And even if they do, I don't think Tampa Bay's
Is that
losing
game in Carolina? I think it is because then the final week's in Tampa.
Yep.
Or am I wrong?
I know the final week's in Tampa, but I'm looking up Panthers schedule. It is in Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. They beat the Rams at home. Sam Darnold, former team.
But again, you still need Miami to beat Tampa with Quinn Ewers.
I've seen crazier.
Did you watch Quinn Ewers this past week?
They put
Okay,
up
but have you seen Devon A. Champ?
26 points. 24 points.
They were down 41-14.
They scored more than 20 points.
I want the Panthers to get in, and this was
Look,
a
man,
big-
Joe Burrow was just on another world. And I'm not getting into the Bengals, but he was just pissed off in a night. He was making a statement. Like, hey, I'm Joe Burrow still. You guys can say what you want. I'm not the problem. And sure, it's the Dolphins, but Buccaneers have looked atrocious.
They haven't looked great. Baker Mayfield might be hurt. I'm sure we're going to get one of those.
Look,
after-
out of all the
They are
teams,
all hurt.
out of all the teams,
The
dude,
Bucks are so hurt.
I've seen crazier.
We're going to get a postseason press conference with Baker. He has like a broken collarbone and a sprained wrist.
I think
Oh,
he
yeah.
does. No, I think it's his
It all comes down at the end.
his non-throwing shoulder. I think he has like an AC joint sprain in his non-throwing shoulder or something crazy like that.
It makes sense. All right, the other game that could come down to Sunday Night Football is either going to be Ravens Steelers or Panthers Bucks on Week 18. It's probably Ravens Steelers if the Browns can somehow find a way to beat the Steelers and the Ravens beat the Packers. That would set up a win or go home. If the Steelers win or the Ravens lose next week, the Ravens are cooked.
I'll come out and say it just because I don't know why we're still clinging on to hope. The Ravens are cooked. They have not been a good team at any point this season. At any point this season have they been a complete football team. They've had moments where Lamar is being Lamar. They've had moments where their defense is showing up, but they are not a good football team in 2025. They're not.
So the
Week one, they
Steelers,
looked kind of good. Then Derrick Henry fumbled.
the Steelers will win the division, and that's that. The Ravens are done.
Yeah, Ravens are done. Lamar, I don't know what's going on with him, but they're cooked.
Lamar, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, the greats in the AFC. They can all try again next year.
All right. Well, we might only get one game of substance in Week 18 then. The way this is trending, which is kind of sad.
Well, you never know with like
Oh wait, what game did you say was Sunday Night Football? Going to be the Panthers-Bucks game?
Panthers Bucks, unless the Ravens win and the Steelers lose next week, then they'll put Ravens Steelers Sunday night, and they'll move Panthers Bucks to like America's Game of the Week with Kevin Burkhardt. Who, by the way, Kevin Burkhardt, great calls in the Chicago and Green Bay game. Happy to see him become a great play-by-play guy.
Yeah, he's the new Joe Buck for Fox.
Come a long way since SNY sideline reporter.
Yeah. Who's better, Burkhardt on Fox for the NFL or Joe Davis on Fox for MLB?
I think Burkhardt by a mile.
By a mile? I don't know about by a mile.
Joe Davis is solid, but as much as he tries, I think he still has a little Dodger bias in him.
It's annoying, and that's because he calls their games. I know what you mean.
It's just implicit bias. He's not trying to, but
I know. I don't think it's I think it could be a lot worse, though.
It could be a lot worse.
He does a good job, but it is there. I agree. It is there. It's so stupid. Who's the guy who has like the weird, not making fun of him, but his eye like looks, he does the Tiger games.
Where you were going.
Does the Tiger games and then does like Big East Fox Sports 1. Or I guess they don't get the Big East anymore. Big 10.
I think he did Pac-12 back in the day with Bill Walton.
Really?
Bill Walton would always annoy him. Like, annoy him in a funny way, not actually annoy him.
Yeah, these guys have come a long way, man. And then you get Tom McCarthy doing Saints Jets.
Listen to John Kruk talk about Sunday brunch for 2 hours during a Phillies game in the middle of July.
Yeah, on Sunday, and then in the middle of December, you get McCarthy doing Saints and Jets.
Maybe he'll get a playoff super wild card. No,
I
he
don't
won't.
think he'll ever get that. Kevin Harlan will get the shitty CBS game, and they'll have an NBC game.
Yeah,
does Amazon Prime get a game for playoffs?
I think they do. That's part of their deal.
So they'll get something going.
So I don't think they've released the schedule for playoffs yet. I think they don't do that till like the games are actually.
So it's like getting close.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. So Saturday we'll get 4:30 and 8 o'clock, and then Sunday 1, 4, and 8, and
Monday Night Football
and a game on Monday. Yeah, but the networks aren't.
So what's the?
I don't think the networks are.
ESPN, I think gets one. I think gets the 4 o'clock on Saturday.
They do.
And then
Saturday night might be NBC too.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who gets Saturday night because they'll have Sunday night.
Yeah.
But then will they then?
Oh, maybe it's Fox on Saturday night.
Probably like they just did this past Saturday. Did Fox get both games? Who did the Eagles game? That wasn't CBS.
Eagles was Fox. Yeah, Fox got both.
So Fox got both? That's interesting.
Okay, so I found on fbschedules.com, I don't know how accurate this is, but 4:30 will be Prime. Oh, wait. No, never mind. Okay. What? So it's Prime, CBS, or Fox for the Saturday and the Sunday games. Sunday Night Football is NBC, and then Monday Night Football is ESPN.
But Prime will only get one game on Saturday. They won't get a game on Sunday?
Or Sunday, apparently.
Really?
Just one game. I think it's just one game total.
But they could get Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. They'll probably give them like the AFC South champion.
What do you mean by that, Brian?
Say that one more time for me, Brian. I wasn't paying attention.
That got Jack's neck to snap real quick.
What'd you say, brother?
You know how it works. The AFC South always plays Saturday at 4:30.
That is true.
We'll see.
The Texans have dominated that 4:30 Saturday playoff spot for the last 4 or 5 years. And maybe switch it up this year.
Yeah, if it's Jaguars Bills, maybe that gets to like a Sunday Night Football, and they put the Texans wild card game on Saturday night.
Are the Texans in line
Saturday.
to get it?
They'll get in,
That was
unless
Jags
the
4 years
Colts
ago.
pull off a miracle.
So the Texans get in as the 7 seed and would have to go on the road to.
Oh, if it's Texans Broncos, that's 4:30 on Saturday.
Yeah. That screams 4:30 on Saturday.
I mean, as of right now, the Broncos are still 1 and the Patriots are 2.
Yeah, so it'd be Pats Bills, and then
No, it'd be Texans
Pats,
Patriots.
Texans.
oh yeah, the Broncos with the bye.
And
Pats
then
Texans. Ooh, there's a lot of Patriots fans, so they might put that Saturday night.
Jags, Bills, and Chargers.
Who are the Jags lined up to play right now? The Bills?
The Bills, and then the Chargers and the Steelers.
Chargers Steelers could be 4:30.
Oh, that is
Gross.
gross. That's
Gross.
1,000%
I
the 4:30 game.
Yeah, I could also see them putting that Saturday. Are there any NFC gross matchups? Like, who would the Panthers play? Who's the 5 seed in the NFC?
Panthers.
The Rams.
Oh no, that would
The
be
Rams.
prime time. And then it's Seattle and San Fran. Yeah, no, the NFC is not
Seattle.
getting
Seattle gets a bye.
Well, one of those teams is going to have to get a
Oh,
bye.
okay, the Rams and the Niners.
No.
But
The Rams are
and
the
Niners
5
last-
seed.
Yeah, the last 2 teams to get in.
No, the 6 seed is the Niners. The 7
Yeah.
seed is the Packers.
Oh,
So it would be Packers.
Panthers.
No. The Panthers would play the Rams.
Oh, Packers and who would be the 2?
Packers aren't making the playoffs.
Oh, the Bears.
They will because the
The
Lions.
Bears. Packers, Bears.
Oh, that would be like a 4:30 Sunday.
And then it would be
Packers
Eagles,
Bears is 4:30.
Eagles, Niners.
Eagles Niners could sneak in
That's
at the
probably
Sunday
Sunday
night
night.
game.
That's probably the night game.
That
I mean,
could
that's probably the
sneak in
juiciest one.
Yeah, that could sneak in the Sunday night
And
spot.
they go Jags and
Who gets the
Jags,
Sunday?
Bills.
Jags Bills might be Monday night.
Sunday at 1. That Jags Bills does sound like a Monday night. Sunday at 1 o'clock. Sunday at 1 o'clock screams that Texans matchup.
Texans and Pats.
Yeah. Texans Pats. Saturday 4:30 would be that Steelers game.
I think they put Steelers at the night game on Saturday, just because they have so many.
Flip this
Fans.
one. So Panthers at 4:30 or no?
Panthers, Rams. It's kind
Panthers
of a
Rams
gross
at
game.
Saturday 4:30.
Yeah, I think there's the Steelers have more
Chargers.
viewers.
Steelers Chargers Saturday night.
I think we just cracked the code.
Texans and who on Texans Pats Sunday at 1 o'clock, 100%. Bears Packers
At 4:30.
4:30, and then
Niners.
Eagles, and then Jags Bills Monday. If
That's
that's
it.
not it. If
That's
that's
it.
not it. I don't know.
We got to call and complain.
I mean, no. I mean, we'll keep this episode Bowlmas Day 3 in our back pocket, and when the games do get released, again, I know there's still teams who could sneak in. I think the playoffs are pretty much set though.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know, again, maybe the Bucks sneak it out, and then it would just be flip the Bucks with the Panthers. But I think we have the same idea of the NFC South. We'll probably have that spot.
I think we just cracked the code.
Keep it in our back pocket. When it gets released, let's see how close we were.
All right. Well,
do it.
comment your predictions below of what you think the schedule will look like. Call us a bunch of idiots if we're completely wrong.
I don't think we are.
You are now in the mix with
But
DJ
yeah,
Savage.
tune in tomorrow, Christmas Eve, for Bowlmas Day 4 FCS playoffs with our guy Matt Fest.
Boom.